Captain Tahoe Parks stood at the observation deck, his eyes fixed on the approaching alien ships. They were unlike anything humans had built. Elegant asymmetrical vessels that seemed to flow through space rather than push against it. "Nervous?" asked Commander Han beside him. Tahoe nodded slightly. 20 years of searching the stars, and finally, we're not alone. The diplomatic team assembled in the shuttle bay. Ambassador Ji-Woo Kim adjusted her formal attire one last time. Earth had chosen its brightest minds and most measured temperaments for this historic meeting. Ji-Woo had negotiated peace between warring nations. Now she would represent humanity to the stars. "Remember," she told her team, "we come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship." The journey to the Galactic Council station took 3 hours. Through the viewport, Ji-Woo watched as they approached an enormous structure, a perfect ring with 12 distinct sections, each showcasing different architectural styles. Inside the council chamber, the Earth delegation felt small. 12 alien species, each stranger than the last, watched them enter. Some floated in containment fields, others stood on multiple legs. One delegation appeared to be living crystal. High Counselor Vendra rose to greet them. His skin shimmered with colors that shifted like oil on water. The Galactic Council recognizes Earth and welcomes humanity to the greater community of sapient species. Ji-Woo stepped forward, her voice steady. "On behalf of Earth and all humans, we thank you for this historic opportunity. We come seeking cooperation, understanding, and shared knowledge." The formal reception seemed to go well. The aliens asked questions about Earth, its climate, political systems, technology. They appeared particularly interested in human history. "Your species adapted quickly," noted Counselor Genvar, a being composed of interconnected orbs, from stone tools to space travel in mere thousands of years. "Necessity drives innovation," Ji-Woo replied. "Our world has many challenges that pushed us to evolve and adapt." What the Earth delegation didn't see was the private council session that followed their welcome. Security Director Nextul, a predatory being with scaled skin, addressed the 12 species. "These humans are dangerous," he stated flatly. "Their adaptability exceeds anything we've documented. Their capacity for warfare is concerning." "They seem peaceful enough," objected Counselor Terlex. "They've had over 15,000 separate wars in their recorded history," Nextul replied. "They developed nuclear weapons and used them on themselves. Their fiction is filled with scenarios where they defeat more advanced alien species. They prepare for threats that don't exist." Do Hyun Choi, appointed as Earth's representative to the Council, was not invited to this meeting. Instead, he was given a tour of the public areas of the station. The Council voted 9-3 to enact containment protocols. "For the safety of the galaxy," High Counselor Vendra stated, "until we better understand these humans." 3 days later, Earth scientists detected strange energy patterns at the edge of the solar system. Within hours, a shimmering barrier had formed, enclosing the entire system. President Sun Min Kang demanded explanations. The Council's response was calm and measured. "Standard protocol for new species integration, a temporary measure while cultural exchange proceeds." Earth's best scientists worked to understand the barrier. They discovered it blocked all travel beyond Mars orbit, but allowed communications to pass through. "It's a quarantine," Dr. Lee Hyun-woo told the emergency session of the World Security Council. "They've caged us." Before Earth could formulate a response, Council warships appeared near the moon. There was no warning, no ultimatum. The ships opened fire on Tranquility Basin, the largest lunar colony. In his office, President Kang watched the live feed from lunar telescopes. The settlement, home to 30,000 colonists, vanished in blinding light. Nuclear fire scorched the lunar surface, leaving nothing but a glassy crater. The room fell silent. Ministers stared in horror at the screens. Some wept. Others shouted for immediate military response. President Kang remained still, his face a mask of cold fury. When he finally spoke, His voice was soft, but filled with terrible resolve. They could have asked us to limit our expansion. They could have proposed treaties. Instead, they murdered our people without warning. He looked around the room at his military advisors. General Park, activate contingency Prometheus. Sir, Prometheus was theoretical. Not anymore. They've made their choice. President Kang's eyes hardened. Now they'll see ours. Across Earth, hidden facilities beneath mountains and oceans came to life. Projects developed in secret, based on theories considered too advanced to be practical, received emergency activation codes. Humanity had hoped for friendship among the stars. Instead, they found fear and betrayal. The species that had survived countless natural disasters, wars, and near extinctions would not go quietly into the night. The Galactic Council had fired the first shot. They would soon learn it was the worst mistake they had ever made. In a bunker deep beneath Mount Baekdu, the leaders of Earth gathered around a circular table. Screams on the walls showed the devastation on the moon. 30,000 lives snuffed out in moments. The room vibrated with barely controlled rage. High General Jun Seo Lee stood at the head of the table. His uniform was simple, but the medals on his chest told of a lifetime of service. "The Galactic Council believes they have us trapped," he said, his voice steady. "They expect us to beg for mercy. They think we are primitive and afraid." He pressed a button, and holographic images appeared above the table. Strange ships and weapons floated in the air, rotating slowly. "What they don't know is that we've been preparing for this day, since we first caught their signals 50 years ago." The world leaders looked at each other in surprise. "Yes," Jun Seo confirmed. "Our deep space listening posts detected their communications decades before they contacted us. We hoped for peace, but we planned for war." Dr. He Jun-yoon stepped forward. He was small and unassuming, with thick glasses and nervous hands. No one would guess he was the head of Earth's most secret research division. "Project Prometheus is ready," he said quietly. "The quantum displacement drives that our enemies believe impossible. We perfected them a decade ago." President Kang leaned forward. "Explain in simple terms, Doctor." "Our ships can appear anywhere in space without traveling the distance between. We can bypass their barrier. We can appear behind their lines. And we have weapons they cannot defend against." Silence fell over the room as the implications sank in. Earth had hidden its true technological level. While sharing some advances with the Council, humanity's best minds had kept their greatest achievements secret. "How soon can we strike back?" asked President Kang. "The fleet is already in position," Jun Seo replied. "Admiral Bai awaits your order." Far beyond the barrier that trapped Earth, Admiral Yun-ji Ba sat in the command chair of the ESS Vengeance. Her ship, along with 20 others, had slipped through the barrier using the quantum drives before it fully formed. Now they waited, invisible behind stealth fields, watching the Council's blockade fleet. The ships looked nothing like traditional human vessels. They were black, absorbing all light, with no visible engines or weapons. They had been built in secret facilities on the far side of Neptune, away from prying eyes. Yun-ji received the encrypted message from Earth. 2 simple words: "Begin now." She straightened in her chair. "All ships, drop stealth fields on my mark. Target enemy vessels. Weapons free." Her crew worked silently, faces grim with purpose. "For the 30,000, Yun-ji said. 3, 2, 1, mark." 21 human warships appeared out of nowhere, directly behind the Council blockade. Before the alien vessels could react, the humans opened fire. Quantum phase torpedoes passed through the alien shields as if they weren't there. Gravitational lances folded space around enemy ships, crushing them from all sides at once. Nanite missiles burrowed into hulls and devoured circuitry from within. The Council ships tried to fight back, but their weapons passed harmlessly through the human vessels. The quantum drives allowed the Earth ships to briefly shift out of normal space, making them untouchable. It wasn't a battle. It was an execution. Second wave, fire, ordered Unji, her voice cold. No survivors. In less than 10 minutes, 60 council ships had been reduced to drifting debris. Not a single human vessel was damaged. On the Galactic Council homeworld, emergency alarms wailed across the capital city. Council members rushed to the central chamber, where reports were coming in. "The blockade fleet has been destroyed," reported the military liaison, his voice shaking. "All ships lost. The humans have weapons we've never seen before." "Impossible," whispered High Counselor Vendra, his iridescent skin pale with shock. "They were contained. We sealed their system. They were primitive." "They are sending a message on all frequencies," said the communications officer. "Put it through," ordered Vendra. A simple text message appeared on the main screen, translated into the Council's universal language. "You should have asked nicely." As the Council members stared in horror, more reports flooded in. Human warships had been detected near 3 other Council worlds. Military bases on 2 moons had gone silent, and the barrier around Earth's solar system was failing, collapsing from the inside. "How is this possible?" demanded a counselor. Their technology was centuries behind ours. Vendra had no answer. The species they had dismissed as primitive had hidden their true capabilities. The quick, easy containment they had planned had just become a fight for survival. And the humans were just getting started. Grand Marshal Minho Quan stood before the holographic map of Council space. 7 star systems glowed red, marking key military installations. The room was quiet as officers waited for his orders. Minho was not a tall man, but everyone in the room felt his presence. He had fought in Earth's last war, 20 years ago. He understood the weight of what they were about to do. "The Council fought us weak," he said. "They attacked without warning. They killed our people. Now they learn what happens when humanity fights back." He turned to Dr. Jae-Sung Shin, who held a small metallic cube. "The Fury Protocol is ready?" Minho asked. "Yes, sir. We've programmed the nanites with all known Council defense systems. They will adapt to new tactics in real time." Minho nodded. "These nanite swarms are our most advanced weapon. They break down enemy technology molecule by molecule. Release them at these coordinates." Dr. Shin placed the cube in a quantum transmitter. With a press of a button, trillions of microscopic machines were instantly transported across light years. "Now we wait," said Minho. They didn't wait long. Within an hour, reports began coming in. Council military bases going dark. Defense systems failing. Communication networks collapsing. The nanites were invisible to the naked eye. They slipped through the smallest cracks, multiplied using local materials, and dismantled everything they touched. Weapons, shields, computers, all reduced to dust. At Orbital Station 7, Commander Sujin Ryu watched the live feed from her scout drones. The Council's primary military academy, where the attack on Earth had been planned, was in chaos. Cadets and instructors rushed to escape as their station crumbled around them. "Target their escape shuttles," asked her weapons officer. Sujin considered this. She thought of the lunar colony, of families who had no chance to escape. "Negative," she said finally. "Let them run. Let them tell others what happened here." Her communication console lit up. A desperate message from the station. "Humans," came the voice of Counselor Zexavox. "We propose immediate peace negotiations. Please respond." Sujin's face showed no emotion as she pressed the reply button. She had only one message, the only one Earth had authorized any commander to send. "You had your chance for peace." She cut the connection and ordered her ships to move to the next target. In a bunker deep beneath the Council's capital city, Defense Minister Krelnar couldn't believe what he was seeing. 7 major military installations gone in less than a day. The Academy falling. 3 fleets crippled. "How are they doing this?" demanded a council member. "We were told they couldn't break the barrier." Krelnar studied the reports, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly in stress. "They didn't break it. They were already outside when we put it up. They'd been hiding ships throughout our territory for years. That's impossible. We would have detected them. And yet here we are, Krelnar said grimly. He pointed to a tactical display. Look at their attack pattern. This isn't random. They're not just fighting back. They're hunting us. He brought up another screen showing failed counterattacks. Every strategy we try, they're ready for it. Every weapon we deploy, they neutralize it. How? How could they know? Krelnar's voice dropped. Because they've been studying us. For decades, while we dismissed them as primitive, they were learning everything about us. The room fell silent as this sank in. We need to contact Earth again, suggested a junior counselor. Offer reparations for the lunar colony. We've tried, said Krelnar. They're not responding to diplomats. Only their military commanders reply, and always with the same message. You had your chance for peace. He looked up at his colleagues, his usual confidence gone. We didn't just underestimate their technology. We fundamentally misunderstood their nature. What do you mean? We thought they were like the Zorvak. Quick to anger, but quick to forgive. Or the Nexians. Fierce in battle, but afraid of casualties. Krelnar shook his head. Humans are different. They offered peace first. We chose war. Now they won't stop until they've achieved their objective. Which is what? Total victory, Krelnar said simply. Their history shows it clearly. When provoked beyond a certain point, they don't fight to negotiate better terms. They fight to win, completely. As if to emphasize his point, alarms blared. The bunker's outer defenses had been breached. The nanites had found them. We need to evacuate, someone shouted. To where? Asked Krelnar quietly. Look at your screens. They're everywhere. We thought we were containing them in their one system, but they were already in ours. Outside the bunker, human ships appeared in the sky above the council capital. Not attacking, just watching, letting the council know they could strike at any time. The hunters had found their prey. The Galactic Council chamber was silent except for the sound of emergency systems. Most of the Grand Hall lay in ruins. Half the seats were empty, their occupants either dead or fled to distant hideouts. High Counselor Vendra looked at the faces around him. Fear had replaced their usual confidence. Their mighty civilization, spanning 12 worlds and thousands of years, had been brought to its knees in just 9 days. We have no choice, he said finally. We must surrender before they destroy everything. The humans won't accept, said Counselor Torlak. They haven't responded to any communication. We have to try, insisted Vendra. Prepare the broadcast. The Council's message went out on all frequencies, translated into every known language. To the leaders of Earth and her colonies, we acknowledge our grievous error. We offer unconditional surrender and beg for mercy. The attack on your lunar settlements was unauthorized, and those responsible will face justice. They waited. Minutes passed, then hours. No response came from Earth. Instead, alarms blared across all 12 Council homeworlds. In orbit around each planet, massive human vessels appeared out of nowhere. They did not fire. They did not transmit any messages. They simply waited, weapons primed. The ships were part of the Memento Mori system, autonomous vessels controlled by advanced AI. Their name, taken from ancient human Latin, meant remember that you will die. On the Council capital world, people poured into streets, looking up at the huge black ships. Some ran to evacuation centers. Others simply stood frozen, waiting for the end. Counselor Yi Jun Kim watched the panic from his private ship. Unlike most council members, he had not fled. His species resembled tall, slender humans with pale blue skin and silver eyes. The name Kim was the closest translation of his family designation in human language. Li Jun had opposed the attack on Earth from the beginning. He had argued that the humans were peaceful, that their warlike history showed evolution, not threat. The military directorate had ignored him. Now he made a dangerous decision. He programmed his small diplomatic vessel to approach Earth, knowing they might destroy him on sight. "Captain," he told his pilot, "set course for the human homeworld." As they approached Earth's solar system, the barrier that once contained humanity was gone. In its place were hundreds of defense platforms. Yi Jun's ship transmitted diplomatic codes and a simple message: "I come to speak truth." To his surprise, they allowed him through. Earth looked beautiful from orbit. Blue oceans, green and brown continents, swirling white clouds. Yi Jun could see why humans fought so fiercely to protect it. His ship landed at a designated facility in a place called Geneva. Armed guards escorted him to a secure room where Earth's Security Council waited. President Kang sat at the center, his face showing no emotion. "You are brave to come here, Counselor," he said. Yi Jun bowed slightly. "I come to tell you what you deserve to know. The Council is fractured. The attack on your moon was orchestrated by the military directorate without full Council approval. Many of us tried to prevent it." "Convenient words now that you face destruction," said General Jun Seo coldly. "Not words. Truth." Yi Jun looked directly at President Kang. "Your translator gave me a human name. Your people call me Kim because the sound is similar to my family designation. I have studied your culture. I know names are important to you." President Kang studied the alien carefully. The translation system had indeed given this being a Korean name by coincidence. "Why should we believe you?" "Because I can prove it." Yi Jun placed a small crystal on the table. "These are sealed council records. They contain everything: the secret meetings, the debates, the names of those who ordered the attack, and those who tried to stop it." The crystal projected images: council members arguing, military director next full planning the attack, Yi Jun and others protesting. "Play record 734, Yi Jun said quietly. The projection showed Yi Jun standing before the full council. "These humans seek peace. They have shown no aggression. This attack will not contain them. It will only unleash their full potential against us." President Kang watched the records for an hour. When they finished, he looked at Yi Jun with new understanding. "You risked everything to bring this to us," he said. Yi Jun nodded. "Because the future of both our peoples depends on truth. The council that attacked you was corrupt and fearful, but many of us want the peace you originally offered." President Kang stood. "Return to your ship, Counselor. Tell those who sent you that Earth will respond within 1 day." As Yi Jun left, Admiral Yunji whispered to the president, "Sir, can we trust him?" "The records appear genuine," said Kang. "And he's right about one thing. The future depends on truth." For the first time since the attack, a small hope for peace flickered in the room. 6 months after the surrender, representatives from across the galaxy gathered on neutral ground. The massive space station orbiting Jupiter had been built specifically for this purpose. Its great chamber was designed to accommodate beings of all shapes and sizes. In the center stood a simple table of earth oak. Around it, the future of galactic civilization would be decided. Chancellor Jin Woo Park represented Earth, his gray hair and calm eyes hiding the steel beneath. Across from him sat the remaining council members, including Yi Jun, who now led his people. Jin Woo placed a document on the table. "The Turin Accord," he announced. "Our terms are non-negotiable." The terms were clear. Those who planned the attack on Luna would face trial under Earth law. All council technology would be shared openly with all species, and Earth would maintain its full military capacity without restrictions. "This seems harsh," said one council member. "Harsh." Jin Woo's voice remained steady. "We offered friendship. You responded with death. Be grateful we offer terms at all." The signing took 3 hours as each species added their mark to the document. When it was done, Jin Woo stood to address them. "We are not conquerors," he declared, "but neither will we ever again be victims. Today marks a new beginning, one based on truth, not fear." In the months that followed, the galaxy changed rapidly. The old council structure was dismantled. In its place rose the Terran Accord, an alliance of equals with Earth at its center. Species that had opposed the attack on Luna found themselves rewarded. Yi Jun's people received special trading rights. Their worlds flourished with new human technologies and cultural exchange. Those who had led the attack faced justice. Military Director Nex Tool and his conspirators were tried before representatives of all worlds. The evidence was clear. They would spend the rest of their lives in a prison colony on Titan. 1 year after the signing, the new Galactic Academy opened on Mars. It was the first of its kind, a place where all species could learn together. Human cadets trained alongside aliens from 20 different worlds. Admiral Yunji Ba, now Supreme Commander of the Terran Defense Fleet, stood before the first graduating class. Human and alien faces looked up at her with respect and a little fear. "Look around you," she told them. "See your classmates. Not so long ago, we were enemies. Now we build something new together." She walked among them, her uniform simple but her presence commanding. "The stars are not for the cruel or the cowardly," she continued. "Our human ancestors looked to the heavens with wonder, not malice. The old council mistook our peaceful intentions for weakness. They mistook our caution for fear." Yunji stopped before a cadet from Nextul's species. The young alien met her gaze steadily. "Their pleading came too late to save them from our fury," she said softly, "but not too late to forge a new path." She gestured to the mixed group of cadets. "Remember this lesson, all of you. Humanity extends its hand in friendship first, but when that hand is bitten," her eyes hardened, "what follows is not revenge, but justice, swift, terrible, and complete." The room fell silent as 30 different species considered her words. 5 years later, the new council chamber on Earth hosted representatives from 40 worlds. The galaxy had changed forever. The species that once ruled through fear now learned a different way. Humanity expanded outward, but not as conquerors. They built outposts and colonies, always inviting others to join them. Their technology advanced rapidly, shared with allies who proved trustworthy. The memorial on Luna stood as a reminder. 30,000 names carved in stone, visible from orbit. Every diplomatic mission visited it first upon arriving at Earth. Yi Jun, now ambassador of the United Worlds, stood with President Kang at the viewing platform overlooking Earth. "Sometimes I wonder," Yi Jun said, "what would have happened if we had simply welcomed you as equals from the beginning?" President Kang smiled slightly. "History is full of such questions. Your people have changed the galaxy in just 5 years," Yi Jun observed. "Some still fear you." "Good," said Kang. "A little fear can be healthy. But we prefer respect." Below them, the lights of Earth's cities glowed against the night. Humans went about their lives, mostly unaware of how close they had come to destruction, or how completely they had turned the tables. Peace reigned across the stars, not from weakness, but from shared understanding. Humanity's fury had been seen. No one wished to see it again. The end.